Hello folks, and welcome to another exciting tutorial with Spinel Crochet. If you haven't subscribed, please do it now and hit the bell icon to get instant updates. Today we'll be doing a cute little cactus with a pot. This is how it looks like. It's not very big, and I've added a little flower on the top, and cactuses are for life, so I hope this adds to a nice decor wherever you're adding it. And for the size of this, it's going to be nearly 4 inches high. So this is the height of your cactus with the pot, and the diameter of this is, as you can see here, it's a little more than 2 inches. So it's a really cute pattern. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. I'll be using the 3mm crochet hook and double knit yarn. So starting with the green part, use a green colored yarn, wrap it around your fingers, first two fingers like this. And we're going to be starting with a magic circle. So go under the first loop and pull out the second loop. And where it intersects, as you can see on the right side where it intersects, hold it, remove your fingers, pull down the starting tail and chain one. So this is going to be the start of your magic circle. Once you've done this, we're going to make 6 single crochets in the center part. So go into the center of your circle, yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. This is your single crochet. So insert your hook again, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. So this is your second single crochet. Likewise, make 4 more, so a total of 6 single crochets. So 3, 4, 5. And if you lose your yarn over here, just bring it back down because you want to keep it like this, and then pull the starting tail, and then you'll be closing the center circle so you don't have any gaps. Now we're working in rounds, so we are not making a slip stitch here. So if you can see the first stitch here, go into that stitch. It's going to be a little tricky, it's really tight, but that is what you want. So I'm keeping the tension here a bit tight so we don't have any gaps. So insert your hook. It might take a little effort to do that, but once you get it in, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. So this is your first single crochet for the second round actually. Place your stitch marker so we know this is the first stitch. Now going into the same space, make another single crochet. So this is an increase. Make an increase in each stitch. So we're doing 2 single crochets in each stitch. And at the starting we started with 6 single crochets. Now with the increase, which is 2 single crochets in each stitch, by the end of this round we should have a total of 12 single crochets. So just a few more here and we have reached the last stitch, and I have 12 single crochets here. Now starting the next round, remove your stitch marker and straight away start with the first stitch. So no slip stitches. We have gone in and made a single crochet. So over here, make 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Now 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So this set we're going to be repeating for the entire round, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So this is an increase and then 1 single crochet. So these 2 stitches are repeated throughout. By the end of the round, you should have a total of 18 single crochets. I'm going to speed up the video so we quickly finish the round, but you are most welcome to pause the video and catch up with the stitches. While working in this round, we were pulling the stitches and you can see there's a gap in the center. To close this gap, just pull the starting tail from the back and you can see that the gap closes. So you can sew in that starting bit to secure your gap so that it doesn't show. But with the other rounds coming up, hopefully we're not pulling the starting stitches so much so it won't really show. So starting on next round, make a single crochet in the first stitch, and then we are not making an increase in the first stitch like we did for the previous round. That is because if we do the increases in the same stitches, we're going to have a hexagonal shape with like 6 corners showing prominently. To avoid that, I'm going to be placing my increases after the single crochets. So over here we're going to be working 2 single crochets in 2 stitches. So this is the second single crochet, and then in the third stitch make the increase. So we'll be repeating the set of these 3 stitches, which is 2 single crochets in 2 stitches and then an increase in the next stitch. So make this for the entire round. By the end of this round you should have a total of 24 single crochets. Again, speeding up the video, feel free to pause whenever you feel like I'm going too fast. So that was the end of round 4. Starting our round 5, make a single crochet in the first stitch, place your stitch marker, and now here we're going to start with an increase, so make another single crochet in the same space. Now make 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and this set is going to be repeated throughout this round. So again, if you see an increase in the first stitch and then 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. So repeat this, and by the end of this round you should have a total of 30 single crochets. So once you've completed this round, remove your stitch marker and make a slip stitch in the next stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, pulling the same loop through the loop on your hook. This is a slip stitch. Chain 1, and now we're going to be folding our work. So the center part, the center line should run through where your hook is towards the bottom end. So keeping the loop because we still need to work. I'm just pulling the center bit to make sure the gap doesn't show. You can sew in the starting tail. I'm just going to place it inside and just hope it stays there and make sure it doesn't come out. Now fold your work into a half like this, and we're going to place some stuffing in the center. So you don't need too much, very little stuffing in the center part here, and then close that little edge, just pushing my stuffing in the center so we can work the stitches outside. Place your stuffing whatever way you're comfortable with, and then after this chain 1 we're going to flip our work this way so that we have the bulging side open towards the right side, and we're going to do a reverse stitch here. So look at the stitches on both sides. We're going to be picking up 1 from each side. So go into that first stitch from one side and then the first stitch from the other side like this. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. So it's a reverse single crochet thing. So the open side needs to be on the right side. Now twist your work so that you see the stitches and you're sort of going into one side and then the other side like this. Yarn over and pull up a loop, straighten your work here, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. Now keeping the stuffing inside, again going to that stitches, one from each side, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So we are going to repeat these reverse stitches throughout the length of my work here. So just twisting to see the stitches, going from one side, pick up that stitch, go to the other side, pick up that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So the stuffing over here, it keeps pushing itself out, so I sort of push it back in every time. If it's a bit too hard, you can add the stuffing before closing off, like the last 3 stitches maybe, but I wanted to keep this stuffing in between while I work. So just make sure that you're going through both sides of your work to close that little edge, and then you're making a reverse single crochet, or there's another name for the stitch as well, I can't really remember. It's it has a little name to it, but it's sort of a single crochet with a twist. And the edging that is forming up, you can see it has quite a little texture to it. It's not very straight. It has a rough edge, but that is what we want for our cactus. So over here you can see I'm nearly at the end, and it doesn't get any better. I still have to struggle a lot to get my hook in there. So maybe using a smaller hook here would help. I'm not really sure, but I use the same hook. So this is nearly the second last stitch, if I'm not wrong. And once you work your last stitch, we're going to chain 1 and then stitch our work so that it is nicely closed with the edge over here. I'm not really making another stitch here. I'm just checking how it looks like. So yeah, chain 1, and you need a little length for your ending tail here. So pull this through this way, and I'm just going under that. It's really hard, but just push your work through, or you can use a needle here. It's easier with the needle. So just to close that little end like this. But we need that long tail at the end to sew our work together. So with the stuffing and this thing, I have made 9 more similar things. It looks like a small samosa. So yes, 9 more of these, and then we're gonna put them together. Okay, so I've got 9 more of these. Not 9 more actually, I've got 9 in total. Yeah, 9 more would have meant 10. No, these are 9 in total. So I'm going to put 4 together and 5 together, and then we're going to put those 2 sets together. So it was hard to put all the 9 together. So I'm going to show you how to do 4 together and then 5 together. So over here we use our needle. Place one of the threads onto the needle, and then place the other little, I don't know whether they're petals or of the cactus. What part is this? Anyways, sewing these together so that they are nice and even with each other, even though at the end some of them were a bit less bulgy, but that's up to you how well and neat you want to sew on these together. So I'm just going to fast forward the video, but I'll let you watch how I did it. Picking one stitch, or sort of going under a few strands of yarn from both sides, and then going to the other side and just pulling it through so that we attach them together. So yep. So here are my two sets. One is of 4 and one is of 5. And now we're going to put these together, but I'm not going to be doing the center lengths. It is too hard to do that. So I'm just going to be attaching the top and the bottom thing together. So this is how I do it. Just picking up a stitch from every little stem or this part, only from the top side, as you can see over here. You go all around and then pull the thread to close that center gap, It's okay if it shows a bit. It doesn't have to be, like completely closed. So you can have a small opening, that's fine. And then I'm going to be making a little knot here. So pull this through all the way. I just lost my needle there, so I'm just gonna place the yarn on my needle, and you're going to make a little knot. So you go in, and when you pull the yarn out, don't pull it all the way. When you have the little loop, go through the center and then pull. So that's your knot, and that's going to keep it in place. Now that was one of the sides, and now we're going to do the same for the other side. I weaved in all the extra little ends that I was having. um, I'll show you how to do that. Just hide them in your work. So same as the other side, we're going to pick up a few strands of yarn from each bit and then pull it through to close. Once you've done both sides, then just go into just take one of the sides and hide the yarn and cut it off. But I'm going to keep the yarn for one of the ends, which is going to be like the lower side, which is going to attach to the pot. So this is how I hide my yarn. Just go under a few stitches, and since it's the same color, it isn't an issue. So yeah, when it's secure, when you're happy with it, just cut it off and it doesn't show. So this is how it looks like. Let's move on to the next part, which is like the small pot. So I'm going to be using the same hook, which is a 3mm, and here I'm using a beige colored yarn. You could use a darker shade for the pot base, that's fine. And again, starting with a magic circle, so we make the magic circle. With the magic circle, we're going to do 6 single crochets for the first round, then 12 single crochets for the second round, 18 single crochets for the third round, 24 single crochets for the fourth round, 30 single crochets for the fifth round, and 36 single crochets for the sixth round. So it's sort of the repeat of the same work that I did for the green part, initial green part. And I'm going to come back and tell you what I did after the sixth round. But I'm just going to leave the video here for you to see, but I'll just play it on a bit, with a quick fast forward thing. But I'll do another video where I'm going to do the whole pot separately, so you can go from row to row along, work with me. So just for this part, because the video was getting really long, so I'm just gonna do a fast forward thing for the pot here and then meet you after the sixth round. Now for the next round, we are going to be working only in the back loops. So remove your stitch markers and you can see these two loops here. Go into the back loop only and make a single crochet. Place your stitch marker. And then we're doing just one single crochet in each stitch, and this is going to be in the back loop only. So making one single crochet in the back loop for the entire round. And here you can see it's going to form a little edge with the front loops showing, and we're going to sort of build the sides of the pot here. Now for the next round, we're going to be working in both loops as the normal single crochet. So go under both loops and make a single crochet. Place your stitch marker in the first stitch, and now making one single crochet in each stitch, and we're going under both loops like a normal single crochet, and we're going to work 7 rounds, so we have a little height for our side. So I'm going to go ahead and make the sides and come back and show you how it looks like. So here I am at the end of my 7th round, and over here, starting our next round, we're going to be working in the back loops. So you go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through both loops. So that's a single crochet in the back loop only. So make one single crochet in the back loop of each stitch for this round. Now starting the next round, we're going to be adding our decreases. So remove the stitch marker, insert the hook in the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and make your single crochet in the first stitch. Make 4 single crochets, 2, 3, and 4. Now make a decrease, so go in the stitch, pull up a loop, go in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. This is your first decrease. So the set of these 5 stitches we're going to repeat. So 4 single crochets in 4 stitches and then a decrease in the next 2 stitches. Repeat this for the entire round. Now starting the next round, remove your stitch marker, make a decrease in the first 2 stitches. Again, to avoid that same decrease in the same stitch and then the corners showing, we're going to place our decreases at different spots. So starting with the decrease and then make 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. So the set of these 4 stitches we're going to repeat for the entire round, a decrease and then 3 single crochets. Now starting a next round, remove the stitch marker and make a single crochet in the first stitch. Place your stitch marker. Make 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then make a decrease in the next 2 stitches. So now we're going to repeating the set of these 3 stitches. So 2 single crochets in 2 stitches and then a decrease. Repeat this for the entire round. Now after finishing this round, we're going to add our filling. So I'm going to add bits and pieces of my yarn that was left over. This is a broken pom-pom that I have from previous projects, and I've got other loose small ends which you left over from other craft projects. So just stuff them in. The stitches are so close and tight that you're unable to see what the stuffing inside is. Just keep checking how full or how tight you want your stuffing to be. And at the end, I did add a little of the white stuffing, the regular thing that we get to stuff our materials, just to make a impact on the top maybe, but it doesn't really matter. So once you're happy with the stuffing, we're going to do our next round. So once you're happy with the stuffing, we're going to carry on with closing our center bit here. So making a single crochet in the first stitch of this round, and place your stitch marker. And over here again, you want the stitches to be tight, so keep the tension tight while you work. So make a decrease in the next stitch. And then repeat this set of these 2 stitches, which is 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So just making sure that I'm happy with my stuffing here, because we're going to cut off the yarn here and close the end. So I have a bit of a tail here, and remove your stitch marker and make a slip stitch here. So insert the hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, pulling the loop through the loop on your hook and pull it all the way out. Now with a needle, thread the yarn onto your needle and close the center end, and then we're going to attach the top part to our base. So after attaching the top part to our base, this is how our work looks like. I'm going to attach a flower at the top and show you how it looks like. So this is the final look of the cactus with the little pot underneath and a flower on top. If you like my video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.